I'm Aiden from Pack Hacker, and today we're going to be taking a detailed look at the Osprey Arcane Duffel. I've been testing this bag for about 3 weeks now, so let's dive right in. So the Arcane Duffel is made out of a very smooth, rich feeling recycled polyester. Unlike some of the polyester that's used on, say, the Osprey Metron, that feels a little bit more rough than this. This has been a very nice feeling bag to just carry around over the past 3 weeks while I've been testing it. On the sides here, you can see we have YKK zippers on all points of exterior zippers, which have been really good. They've glided really smooth, especially on the U zipper here up on for the main compartment. There's no sharp, rough edges to this bag either. So whenever you're unzipping stuff, it's smoothed pretty nice when it's fully packed. However, the interior main compartment does have a little bit of sagging to it if it's not fully packed, which we have a little bit of sagging to the front here just because I'm carrying a backpack mode, so all the interior stuff I have stored in here has kind of shifted down to the bottom of the bag. But one thing to note is that all the big, numerous features to this bag are mostly on the exterior of this bag. It is fairly simple, and we will be getting into that right now. So on the side here, you can see that we have a nice webbed handle that you can use to hold the bag briefcase mode. Or on the top here, you have another handle, so just for day-to-day carrying, so you don't have to worry about, say, just grab and go, having to put it on your back or having to put it over your shoulder. You can just grab it by either of these loops and just kind of take it with you wherever you need to go. The handles themselves are very padded, so when you are running around, the bag is pretty heavy when it's fully packed out, depending on what you have on the inside. The padded handles will not dig into your hand, so it's a very comfortable grab and carry. On the back here, we have a very nice ventilated back panel here. Honestly, I've been wearing this in backpack mode for the past week and a half. I tried to do during testing, I had it as a duffel for my first week and a half and a backpack for my second week and a half. While I was wearing it like this, I did not have much sweat back at all, so the ventilation on this bag does work pretty well. As you can see, we also have backpack straps here that work just as well as, say, this back panel. They are very cushioned and very padded, so it's made it for a very comfortable feel. However, one thing I do want to mention is that I am a big guy, and with this bit of fabric here, it's kind of started to dig into my neck. It's not hurtful, it's not painful in any way, but it has been somewhat uncomfortable when wearing this in backpack mode. So overall, I have enjoyed wearing it in duffel mode a little bit more than backpack mode, but in comparison to other duffel backpack hybrids, I'd say this functions pretty well in both features rather than strongly in one and a little bit less in the other. We have really nice aluminum clips here that are pretty easy to get off. One thing to mention though that is the only struggle with this bag is there is a little lip right at the edge of the zipper here, so that can get caught and kind of snag when you're trying to unclip them, but overall it does come off pretty easily. So in like some bags you kind of struggle to get to convert the straps over, but this bag has been pretty simple and pretty easy to use. One other thing I want to know about these backpack straps is the fact that they do have a very nice stretchy mesh pocket that you can use to fit either a transit card, ID, any kind of card that you want, or anything that might fit in here. It has worked pretty well for me, especially on the go, so I've had no problems in keeping stuff secured inside of this pocket here. But overall, I'd say that the backpack features for this bag are pretty nice. But when going into transferring it into duffel mode, you just have to, got cut on that lip I mentioned earlier, stick it into the other pocket right here. So here we have the duffel strap that when you're not using it, it's pretty easy just to slip in here. The only thing I do want to mention is that when it is in backpack mode, you cannot close this pocket. But when converting, you just kind of shove these in here. It's pretty spacious in there, so you're not going to struggle to really fit them inside. But one thing I do want to mention is that you do have to shift them around just a little bit to prevent any kind of bulking on the back padding here, just for a more comfortable carry. But when you're carrying it in duffel mode, like you will be when these are in there, you really won't run into it being uncomfortable on your back as, say, if it were in backpack mode. So when you're done with them, just kind of zip up that pocket, keeps them secured. Hey, if you want to use it for anything else, by all means. I personally would not, just because it does feel like a very tight fit, especially in that area. But overall, you can totally do that. One nice thing about these Hypalon loops that are used to attach both the backpack straps and the duffel straps to the bag is these ones don't kind of hide as well, but when you're not using it in duffel mode, there is a hidden kind of pocket that you can kind of shove those into. When it's packed up a bit more, it's a little bit harder to actually access those hidden pockets, but overall, they're a really nice feature to have. And say on this side, the top side where everything kind of shifted away from, it's a little bit easier to hide those in. But we'll be taking those out just so I can show you guys how the duffel feature works. So as I said before, we still have the nice same aluminum clips that we have on the backpack straps. These ones are slightly bigger, so they're a little bit easier to use and to kind of get around that little lip there. Really easy to attach. You're not struggling with the metal carabiner bit right there, so you don't have to worry about it too much. Oh, actually, I did that upside down, so let me fix that. There we go. And then, yeah, both sides just clip onto either end, and then you have a really nice feature here. When using it as a duffel, honestly, I found that this adjustable padding bit on here has worked pretty well. It's not super thick in padding, but what it does have, it does its job very well. I've had a lot of stuff stored in here over the past 3 weeks, and even in duffel mode, I have not had any pain in my shoulders whenever I've been carrying it via the duffel. So the padding has worked, yeah, incredibly well when utilizing as such. So kind of moving up to the top here, we have a accessory pocket that is very spacious up on the top portion here. So as you can see, I got a towel just in case I need it, battery, camera batteries, a mouse, phone cord, and you can probably fit a few more things into the accessory pocket. One thing I do want to mention about this accessory pocket, which you will see a little bit later in this video, is the fact that when it is packed full, you end up kind of cutting into the space within the main compartment, but the main compartment itself is pretty open just as is, so you won't really have to worry about it. With this accessory pocket, unlike some of the other zippers on this bag, you do have a fabric well over top to help fix and help deal with a little bit more weather resistance, so any space that you have open on the ends of these zippers, you can kind of just cover up with this fabric well and you won't have any issue at all. Actually, I'm gonna pack that back full just so you guys can see how it kind of cuts into the main compartment. So yeah, before we go into the main compartment, I just want to note that the Osprey logo up on front of here, it looks like it's made out of leather just based off this video. I didn't notice until a weekend, but is actually just a stitched fabric. So if you don't want to deal with leather on your bags, if you're looking for a more animal-friendly style, I would recommend this bag. I did not look if there is a leather feature, like a leather option for this bag. So just a heads up, but within the bag that we have here, there are no leather features to this bag. So if you like the look of this bag but don't want to go into a little bit more animal-friendly route, they definitely have a more animal-friendly route. So as you can see, the YKK zippers kind of glide really nice around the curved edges of this bag, so it makes for a really nice feel. On some of these zippers, I also want to mention that there are zipper garages, so that if you have a little bit more of an opening at the end of them, you can easily just hide the zippers in there. And again, that will increase weather resistance, especially if you've been living here in Michigan for the past month where we've had crazy rainstorms blowing through. So the interior of this bag is super minimal. There's really not much to it. We have a nice mesh pocket here that I've been using for some spare clothes, just around for my day-to-day. It's a little bit stretchy, so it has a nice amount of depth that you can really add into it, so you don't have to worry about that. But say if you want to put flip-flops, sandals in there, I wouldn't recommend boots or like tennis shoes. Those might not fit in here quite as well. But just for day-to-day kind of items that you won't be utilizing all the time, but you might want to put on later, by all means, this mesh pocket here works great for that, and in addition to anything else you want to put into it. The interior main compartment of this bag is really stripped down. So as you can see, there's not a whole lot to it. But with what is here, you can fit a lot into the bag. So as you can see, we have I have a camera cube with me, packing cube, umbrella just in case because of the crazy weather we've had here in Michigan, and a notebook. But you could probably fit a few more smaller things into this interior main compartment itself. There is no storage features really that go along with the inside. It's pretty stripped down. It's just kind of like an empty cavity, but at the same time, you do have this accessory pocket, which I mentioned if you really fill to the brim will cut into the space, but you still have all the space left to really add stuff to the inside. Let me pack this back up. We have one more feature I want to showcase. As you can see, kind of zip it back up. It does fit a little weird when it's pretty full, at least going to the front of the bag, but it's not that hard to actually just zip back up. Another thing I just want to mention is that interior mesh pocket does kind of work to make the bag bulge a little bit on the top cover. But at the same time, as you can see, it does not really add too much depth, and it just kind of makes it a little bit more rigid and padded on the front. But the last feature I want to mention on this bag is that they do have a nice, what they say is a 15-inch padded laptop sleeve. I have a 16-inch and I've had no problem fitting this in here. It's fit really well. There hasn't been any like tight spaces I've been trying to jam it into. And in addition, I've also been able to keep my 13-inch iPad in there pretty safe and not having to worry about that at all. We do have these zipper garages on the zipper here that, you know, if you do run into a little bit, it's getting a little bit of a tight fit. But nonetheless, as you can see, you can kind of fit it in there. And if you're worried about your electronics potentially having an effect from the outside world, you can just kind of put those in the zipper garages and you won't have to worry about anything getting onto the inside. It is located on the back panel here, but the back panel does have a good, I'd say, ½ inch of padding to it. So it's definitely sturdy enough and will keep your your electronics, such as your laptop or your iPad, safe even when wearing a duffel or backpack mode. But there you have it. We have the Osprey Arcane Duffel. Thank you guys for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next video.